make the presentation with 10 minutes to 5 minutes according to the availability of time. And even the organizers, they have scrutinized all this paper, and according to the quality, they have been identified the paper. So it is a very good effort done by the team. And I would like to say something that there are the huge potentiality for the researchers in the area of Midnapur, Kolkata, Burdwan, and all surrounding places in Kolkata, West Bengal. So this branch has motivated young researcher to come up with the research idea, to conduct the research on the various present burning issues, and come up with very good outcome solutions, so that can be useful for the future manager implications or any policy development by the state government, national government, or any organization body of the industry. So this is a very good effort. So in all, I can say, and this webinar has been a very good success. Many participants has presented their views. Many experts, they devoted their valuable time. So on behalf of the Indian Accounting Association, I congratulate to entire team, and also thanks to my friend Arindamji, who has been not in this webinar, has played any direct role, but in entire webinar that was organized, and he has taken a very good effort, devoted a maximum time. On behalf of the screen, he has worked a lot. So personally, I congratulate to Arindamji also and their all colleagues, teams, and entire Institute Swami Vivekananda staff. So thank you very much. And on behalf of the head office, I congratulate to all of you. And thanks for providing me an opportunity to giving my views in valedictory session. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Vayani.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for two reasons. Because coming late, moving out from your office, then you could find time to join and say a few encouraging words. In fact, you know about the entire program since yesterday. Yes, sir, we have really tried to bring resource persons who maintain high level of quality in the academic world as chairpersons, as keynote speakers, and resource persons in the inaugural session and in the valedictory session. So thank you very much for your encouraging words. So
Thank you. Thank you.
We proceed a little bit at the very beginning. Dear participants, I sought one permission from all of you that as the program moves, sometimes we may reschedule it from time to time, depending on the availability of the resource persons. So I request Dr. Sharnava Das to wait for some time. Meanwhile, we invite Professor T.P. Ghosh, Professor Tarapada Ghosh, Professor of Finance, Indian Institute of Management Technology, Dubai. He frequents between them in Ghaziabad and Dubai. Our very good friend, very much affectionate. I know him for so many years. It's really a pleasure to have him among us and to hear from him. Professor Tarapada Ghosh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Before you start, I would request Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh to give.
Yes. This is Nilangshu has planned to do all these things to introduce the speakers accordingly.
Yes.
Dr. Nilangshu,
yes,
give
sir.
a brief introduction of Professor Tarapada Ghosh.
Yes. Dr. Tarapada Ghosh is a professor in the area of accounting and finance. He is a PhD in accounting from Burdwan University. He is a chartered accountant from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and cost accountant from Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He has 35 years of long experience in academics and academic administration. He was director of studies of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India during 2005 to 2007. He is a prolific writer and sought-after speaker on the issues of IFRS and Indian accounting standards. His books on illustrated guide to Indian accounting standard was published by Taxman and was among the best-selling professional reference book in 2016. His latest research publications cover various fields. Some of them are economic diversification and the state of oil dependency of UAE stock returns. Then impact of IFRS converges in India and evidence from first time adoption of Indian accounting standard, and which was published in Accounting and Finance Research, ADFC Rank C, Volume 8. And there is another significant publication was India and evidence from first time adoption of Indian accounting standards. Then there are other papers like efficiency of demonetization in eliminating black money, an analysis of Indian demonetization, November 2016. It was published on Journal of Management and Strategy. Then he has a book on black money, counterfeits and demonetization, an Indian experience that was published by Taxman in May 2017. And also another book on demonetization, a fight against black money and counterfeits. So he has several books to his credit, and also another book is Illustrated Guide to Indian Accounting Standards. And his areas of interests are international bank management, international finance, financial markets and institutions, and IFR. So, Professor, we have the honor to have Dr. T.P. Ghosh with us. So, can you, sir, please give your presentation? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Professor Sarkel, who was my esteemed teacher in University of Burdwan, Professor Sudipta Banerjee, my good friend and colleague in University of Kalyani, Dr. Arindam Gupta, my good friend in University, Vidyasagar University, Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, present here, and other respected dignitaries. Professor Sarkel has given a very brief overview. I will not go into detail, and your caption is India, but I want to bring little international view. At the beginning, then briefly I touch upon India because I hope that the India has been covered elaborately during the last 2 days. My topic of discussion, signs of V-shaped post-COVID economic recovery, which Professor Sarkel has briefly touched upon. I need about 20 minutes time, 20-25 minutes time. I believe you will be able to manage that. So, I believe you are able to see my presentation. I don't know whether it is going out or still within the frame.
Oh, it is okay, sir.
It is okay?
Yes, sir.
Loaja and Pennings 2020 of IMF and World Bank research, they thought that the quick V-shaped recovery is in theory the best scenario after the shock. Of course, various letters are there. Loaja has the access to the all World Bank and IMF data. Based on that, the paper has been published in the World Bank research booklet. They also coined the various letters, alphabets of English language, that the U-shaped, W-shaped, L-shaped. In my presentation, whatever data I have collected, of course, my entire presentation based on the secondary data, except that couple of data I collected from the Indian market. And here, before I start, I want to take the quote from Honorable Desmond Tutu. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Here is the stringency index prepared by the World Bank Group. My purpose of showing this chart is that dark blue, where lockdown was very stringent, little lighter, where lockdown was moderate, medium, then medium, low, and low. Low is the yellow. Purpose of showing this, lockdown or no lockdown, economic impact has no difference. There is no correlation whether there was a lockdown or there was no lockdown, moderate lockdown. Second wave, risk of second wave, very real, causing much greater degree of business uncertainty. Supply side, demand side, both has been discussed thoroughly in the conference. So I am not repeating that. What is the supply side problem and what is the demand side problem? In the supply side, companies experience a reduction in the supply of labor, interrupted by the lockdown. Demand side, in particular, I want to end this lecture when I shall be ending. I want to talk about the misery of the SME sector. Here is the, which Professor Shorkel was indicating you, global economy, minus 4.9% overall down, 8% advanced economy will be down, and 3% emerging developed economies will be down. That is IMF projection. That is only IMF projection. Indian scenario minus 4.5%, expected to go up to 6%. America minus 8%, Eurozone minus 10.2 and various degrees of IMF projections. You have all the data. Next slide, which I'm going to show, devastating impact of the output loss, 12.5 trillion USD, which has been the World Economic Outlook they are trying to mention. But U-shaped recovery concept has come. If you look into this chart has been prepared by the IMF. This top yellow portion, this is the Chinese recovery. You can see they have drawn V-shaped recovery projection, China. And this reddish one, you can see that is the emerging market economy. India, they have no separate working. Advanced economies above the, the emerging market. So what IMF and World Bank, they have themselves suggested that there will be sharp V-shaped recovery. Of course, throughout my presentation, I shall tell you there are uncertainties, length of pandemic. This forecast has a length of pandemic. Of course, this is secondary data. Nothing my contribution. I am only telling from the IMF. Later on, I shall show my calculations. Voluntary social distancing, displaced workers, unemployed workers, impact of the workplace safety, global supply chain reconfigurations. These are the challenges. And because of those challenges, U-shaped or V-shaped, that will be decided. My long presence in the United Arab Emirates and working here, and my keen interest on the oil and financial sector. Now here, a real problem is the COVID-19 and oil price collapse. In India, you are in the importer side, you have all the benefit. And you have all the enjoyment that you will be getting cheap oil. When oil price collapsed, $20 a barrel. Other side of the picture where I am residing now. $20 a barrel. Now, of course, a little up price were between, the OPEC and non-OPEC, Russia. That's another problem. And then oil-driven economy, and you can see this collapse. This collapse is a great collapse. March collapse is a great collapse. And recovering from here is this. Of course, it's a great V, but devastating impact. This is the oil price fiscal break-even. You can see $30 a barrel. This $30 a barrel, GCC, UAE is the small state, and green, Saudi Arabia. These are the two major economic power in the GCC region. Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, all are hit by this COVID-19 and oil price collapse. $30 makes fiscal break even. And sometime we have $20. Now $40, we are little over break even. So therefore, growth and development is a big challenge. GDP contribution, if you see in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and UAE little over 10%, 15% around, and Saudi around 25%. But all industries are oil-based industries, petrochemicals and oil-based industries. So oil industry is facing its gravest crisis in 100 years, leading to a steep decline in the fiscal revenues, and the lasting reduced oil prices will create L-shaped recovery. It will not be U-shaped or V-shaped or W-shaped even. Dubai faces triple threat. While my institute is located among the UAE, Dubai is an emirate. Triple threat. Over-dependence on the tourism. Lockdown, you know, understand, Emirates Airlines halted for 5 months. They are saying recovery is far away. In recent press release, Emirates Airlines said 18 months to normalize. Couple of days before, they said 18 months to normalize. Low oil prices and oversupply in real estate. These are the triple threat in the Dubai economy. And travel and tourism contribution, you can see in UAE, and a travel and tourism dependent country, and Emirates Airlines bringing a biggest chunk of revenue and oil, all sectors seriously battered and damaged. And it is external facing economy. So therefore, 90% of the UAE's oil reserves is in Abu Dhabi Emirates, and that emirate is going to shrink as per Moody's 5.3%. Economic support is nonetheless, just like as you have read out about Indian economic package, 100 billion dirham, small SME stimulus package 3 billion. Dubai government has given 1.5 billion liquidity enhancement. Package is similar as in many countries, because each other, they are discussing at the international level and deciding how stimulus package is to be done. It is nothing different. But size of the package, UAE is something around, you can see, 10% of the GDP. Saudi is very less. Saudi has given lowest stimulus package among the G20 countries. To complete about the my discussion about the UAE industry is poised to recover fast: technology, healthcare, pharma, leisure, and energy. And UAE sectors, more pain in stores, aviation, tourism, retail. But hope is that PMI index, it has been published recently by Emirates NBD. Emirates NBD is the largest bank here, one of the largest bank. ENBD Research yesterday published this PMI index for the research was done in the month of August. You can see the employment, that dark yellow line, employment dipping. You can see the output prices more or less, stable, but deep crisis in the employment and new work. You can see here, new work is a little going up. So after 3 negative bar, little ray of hope coming because of the stimulus impact. That is the Emirates NBD research has commented. Now, I come very quickly to V-shaped economic recovery. I am taking a quote from Bikram Limaye, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NSE India, National Stock Exchange of India. It's really uncertain world and nobody really knows how it's going to develop over the next 12 to 18 months, as we are repeatedly saying this. But what Bikram Limaye had said, stock market rally is not connected to reality. You must be knowing that every day Indian stock market, why Indian stock market, US stock market, and other stock markets are rising. Here is the Abu Dhabi Stock Exchange. You can see recovery, level of recovery. You can see recovery level still minus 12.77%. At the top, you can see the data, my calculation. COVID fall 36%, recovery up to the pre-COVID level minus 12.77%. Whereas in the United States, Dow Jones is only minus 2.28% down pre-COVID level. FTSE 100, 18.93%. Really, you can see FTSE 100 in UK, if you see L, it is clear L. FTSE means UK is still worse than Abu Dhabi. And this is not simply COVID impact, it is also there is a Brexit impact. And this is DAX, Germany, minus 3.54% below the pre-COVID level. This is, which Limaye is saying this recovery may be a little premature. And Nifty 50, minus 4.55% pre-COVID level, 34% fall in the month of March, minus 4.55%. Therefore, different countries, 5 countries I have explained to you, they are Germany, India, US, their recovery is almost at the same level, whether they are developed economy, advanced economy, or they are emerging economy, whether there is a stringent lockdown or there is a less stringent lockdown, recovery is not getting impacted by that. Stock market sense recovery is not going impacted like that. Stock market running in hope. These are my calculations which I have already shown. US downfall as per the Federal Reserve, 32.9% in the Q2 because of the unprecedented level. The whole chart Federal Reserve has published during recession period, even this thing has not happened. You can see this chart. Why it is unprecedented, severe recession in the United States did not cause, including 2008-9, did not cause this kind of fall, which COVID has done. Disruption in the flow of global trade and worldwide economic slump resulted in far less demand. 64% export dwindled and 53% drop in the imports. So this is the net result in the United States. Now I am coming quickly to the 5 charts, and this is the ray of hope. Desmond Tutu's hope, I have already said you, there is a light on the other side of the tunnel. This is the chart published in June 14, 2020. Latest chart is not there yet published. This is the Apple Maps people using. This means travel as taking a U-shaped recovery. 4 U-shaped map I have taken from the US. Hotel occupancy rate, still not U. It is still not U, not even V. Air travel, L-shaped. Home purchases, U-shaped. Restaurant booking, L-shaped. So therefore, whether it is U or L depends on the industry, as Professor Swarkeel was trying to say. Different industry will be impacted differently, as has been said. So snapshot of the US economy from the Federal Reserve of the New York, real business equipment spending, new orders and shipment, non-defense capital goods, etc. rebounded. New and existing home sales rose, unemployment rate fell. These are the ray of hope. If United States gets improved, our software companies will be doing well. That's why our means Indian. So 5 graphs, more 5 graphs I am showing you. Gold. Gold, when gold price goes up, means, unprecedented rise in the gold price, people are taking safe haven investment. This means people are afraid of what is going to happen 18 months long, whether stock market recovery will sustain or not. So money is parked in the gold. That is, gold price is rising. S&P 500 V-shaped recovery. I have already told. FTSE 100 L-shaped recovery. FTSE 100. Copper price is rising. This is very interesting economic event. Steep rise, V-shaped recovery. I am now not taking from the stock market. I am taking from the real economy. That LME copper historical price graph is increasing. China. China is the largest importer of the copper and is responsible for 50% of the copper consumption of the world. And when the copper price is increasing, this means global production is taking a shape. And you can see in the Indian stock market, all the metal stocks are rising. Hindalco, Tata Steel, Steel Authority of India, so on and so forth. Every stock is rising. This is because the hope that the copper price is rising. For want of time, I am not showing you the steel price and other metal prices. Increase in the metal index in the LME, London Metal Exchange, showing that demand is growing post-COVID. Baltic Dry Index is another index. See, interestingly, it is WSEF. And little, fall in the month of August, cause of concern. It is a cost of shipping major raw materials. How much cost of the material transported? This is the Baltic Dry Index. Sign of recovery. But this is, the bond index. This index is interestingly 10-year bond versus 3 months T-bill. Long-term, short-term combination, difference. When this index comes down, showing that economy is in a bad shape, we want to create consumption. Therefore, yield is coming down, yield differential is coming down, but now you see the recovery. And you understand America said that we are not going to cut the interest. But little uncertainty you can see in this month of September, little uncertainty is there on this matter. Now I come quickly to the Indian scenario. I complete after talking few words about the Indian scenario. I have given you the global scenario in support of the various shape, U shape or V shape or L shape. Here I touch upon very quickly 5 points. Index of Industrial Production published in the Reserve Bank of India Bulletin, August issue, a September volume. Improvement of the GST collection, Namura Business Resumption Index, selected financial result. I have taken 5 selected company, HUL from FMCG, Bayer from the chemical, Pfizer from the pharmaceutical, TCS from the software industry, and SBI from the banking, and SIAM data. Indian scenario here, if you see this Reserve Bank of India data quoted from the National Statistical Office, RBI Bulletin September. August, September, I have combined and prepared this table. If you compare this data, May 88.4, June 107.8, April 56.3. April means, April 2020, 56.3, 88.4, 107.8. Mining, manufacturing, electricity, primary goods, capital goods, intermediate goods, infrastructure 102.2. So almost all sectoral indices, if I have to believe this data, published by the Reserve Bank of India, quoting from the National Statistical Office, almost all indices have improved in the month of June. July, September, August data has not been published by RBI. Monthly GST collection I have taken from Press Information Bureau of Government of India. GST collection in April, May, and June. Distinct sign of the recovery from the angle of the monthly GST collection. Comparative 2019-20 data, you can see, almost we are catching up in the month of June. July, August data has not been yet published. Nomura India Business Resumption Index, NIBRI. NIBRI, you can see, not very used. 44.7 in the month of July, now it is 75.7. And pre-COVID level 99.2. So recovery up, cautious revival, these are the Nomura's all catch-up title. Hindustan Unilever, much better than expectation. Professor Sorkel was talking about the FMCG. I draw his kind attention. June 2020, Hindustan Unilever's net profit was 1897 crore, and June 2019 it was 1795 crore. Hindustan Unilever was not at all affected despite of the COVID. I am taking Bayer India, chemical and agrochemical industry, against 135 crore profit. June they reported 251 crore profit. Pfizer, you know, they are very close to vaccine. 112 crore, June 2020, 124 crore. In India, all pharmaceutical company reported fantastic result in the month of June, ignoring as if there is no COVID. Tata Consultancy Services, little down against 8153 crore, June profit was 7,049 crore. IT was not actually fantastically good, but IT ran up. What you are seeing today in the stock exchanges, all IT companies running up, that is in the hope of US recovery. Because of that, I have given you background of the US. SBI, now that is which is the pillar of India, which carries India against 3,383 crore, recorded a profit of 5,203 crore. Of course, critics are saying they have not adequately provided, and SBI chairman said, yes, I have made adequate provision. Siam eyes August auto sales data after July figures indicate revival. You can see Siam data, those who give auto sales data, it is one of the indicators of the economic recovery. March and June, you can see what was the devastating fall. Virtually there was no sale of the car. Now that decline, percentage decline has come down to only -39% comparative July, comparative the last July, it is only -39%. Fantastic recovery in the auto sector. All auto stocks in Indian market, therefore, running fantastically high. Therefore, NSE director, perhaps he has not looked into the fundamental, what we read the balance sheet. Companies are running out of the balance sheet. Whatever the balance sheet data is showing, companies, stock market is actually replicating that. Now, Honorable Professor Sorkel, I want to little enter into your domain. I learned Schumpeter from you. Creative destruction is the essential fact about capitalism. Schumpeter. Creative destruction, why I am talking. K-shaped. This is my personal view. I have taken from this figure, I have taken from Economic Times. K-shaped. I explain the concept of K-shaped. Because of that, I have taken help of Schumpeter's quote, creative destruction. K-shaped is some people will be destroyed and devastated, which are SMEs and MSMEs, and some people will be going up. Why I said this? I have said this looking into what is happening in India. Reliance Jio swallow up Future Group, forcing the next in the demand to adapt price discounting. Adani acquires local airport monopolies. I mean to say, companies with having huge liquidity and financial power, they will be buying the smaller one. Smaller one will be devastated. MSMEs will be devastated, and large monopolies will be growing up. That is the imminent danger. And how to cope with that? To cope with that, COVID-19 has bring a big challenge. Another important point I just want to bring to your notice, Vedanta, Hexawire, they are proposing delisting in Indian market. I am not taking global example because I have come out from the global market. Now, when you are talking about the delisting, Vedanta, when they have shown bad performance, stock came down from 400 rupees to 89 rupees, stockholder lost. Now, when the stock price has come down, you are doing delisting. Nothing wrong legally, but ethics of the delisting should be understood. You are not morally looking into your stockholders whose wealth you have destroyed from 400 to 89 rupees level. Now you are delisting at 89 rupees shares you have proposed. This is actually should be looked into whether big powerful, how they will take into small shareholders, big powerful monopolies, how they will be destroying the SME sector. Germany's Mittelstand. Germany's Mittelstand, the MSME sector, medium-sized family-owned businesses, 99% of all companies in the Germany. Please make the fact check, made in Germany. I am not going to say make in India. Yes, make in India, but make in India in which manner? MSME sector. German Mittelstand. Large multinational like BMW, Volkswagen, Siemens are crucial players, but there are hidden champions in the Germany. 99% of the German companies are categorized as Mittelstand, family-owned businesses. MSME sector in India, I am in the conclusion, sorry, organizer, 9 out of every 10 of India's 63.3 million small businesses, termed as micro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs, have restarted operation after the lockdown necessitated by COVID-19. But only 1 in 4 is producing at least half of its capacity, largely on account of poor demand, logistic issues, and their own financial troubles. This I am reading not from any source. It is from the Government of India source. In Atmanirbhar Bharat, this presentation was made by the Ministry of MSME. And as of August 6, 4 million MSMEs had been sanctioned, 140,000 crore under emergency credit line guarantee scheme announced as per the government's 20 lakh crore relief package, of which around 95,000 crore had been also disbursed. This is Government of India announcement. But how many people got this? Survey, this survey has been done by the National Small Scale Industries Corporation. 3,100 MSME responded, show an improvement over July and June. For instance, in June, 18.2% of MSMEs were producing more than their 50% capacity. In June, they have come to 70% capacity. In June, 70% of the MSMEs said they are faced liquidity crunch. So that is my conclusion, that V-shaped recovery for some, for bigs, maybe L-shaped recovery for UK or Abu Dhabi if there is a oil price crunch. And for MSME sector, there may be K-shaped recovery. Many MSMEs will go down the lane unless we come out with more package for the MSME sector in India. In UAE also, MSME sectors, to protect the MSME sector, lots of activities is going on. Government of India has taken good package But if you read that Atmanirbhar Bharat presentation, Government of India is also failed to reach the MSME sector. Time today is to adapt German Mittelstand model. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Professor T.P. Ghosh. Not only excellent, but such a database that you have used, covering the Indian situation in the light of the international developments, and much ground you have covered. You are really a specialist, not only in the field of accounting and accounting standards. You are full-fledged a finance specialist. We're even grateful to you because even for these 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you have worked so hard and prepared your presentation. And all of us, at least I have learned a lot. I believe that, not that I will be able to memorize everything right now, everything has been recorded. And I think all the participants have been benefited. So thank you, Professor T.P. Ghosh, very much. And after a long time, we could meet each other. Now, after this serious discussion, we have another very serious expert present here, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasad, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. But I think he will be addressing the valedictory address. Meanwhile, for about 5 minutes or like that, I invite Dr. Swarna Bodas, Assistant Professor, Department of MBA, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Sonarpur, Kolkata, and member of the IAS South Bengal branch, to speak a few words about the IAS South Bengal branch. Then we will invite Professor Ganga Prasad Prasad. Swarna.
Am I audible?
Yes, Swarna, you are audible.
Respected Chairman, sir, and honorable dignitaries of this valedictory session, and other respected participants in this international webinar. Good evening to all of you. I am very much thankful to the chair for giving me an opportunity to say something about the South Bengal branch of Indian Accounting Association. The South Bengal branch, formerly known as Midnapur branch of Indian Accounting Association, was established on 23rd February 2008 at the Department of Commerce with Farm Management, Vidyasagar University, Midnapur, West Bengal, with an objective of spreading the academic activities related to business studies, taking into its fold members from different colleges and universities of West Bengal, and also from other academic institutions, professional bodies, financial institutions, and also corporate bodies. Presently, this branch has 220 like members from the district of South Bengal, including Kolkata, Midnapur, though it has members also from North Bengal and outside of West Bengal. At present, it is one of the largest branch of the Indian Accounting Association in terms of strength of membership and its importance at national level. The South Bengal branch is publishing a biannual e-journal, Business Spectrum, an open access referred peer-reviewed journal where researchers contribute their articles in the field of business studies. Besides this, South Bengal branch also actively motivates the examinee of the state of West Bengal to sit for the National Accounting Talent Search Examination conducted by the main body of Indian Accounting Association every year. South Bengal branch has a great success story for organizing both national and international level seminars and conferences, webinars also during past years. During this pandemic time, the branch has so far organized 2 international webinars and 2 national level webinars, a 2-week workshop from FDP on research methodology in collaboration with Ministry of HRD, Government of India, and 1 3-day lecture program named Abhinav. This lecture program was dedicated in the memory of 3 distinguished personalities of the and accounting fraternity in general and Indian Association in particular, Professor A.K. Basu, Dr. J.B. Sarkar, and Professor P.K. Haldar. Last but not least, I request participants, those who are not yet members of our association, please be associated with us as a live member. So thank you once again to the chair, respected dignitaries and participants of this international webinar for giving me an opportunity to say something about our South Bengal branch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharnava Ghosh, for your brief presentation, but telling all of us about the activities of our branch, Indian Accounting Association South Bengal branch. But now I would request our Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh, convener, to introduce our another honorable resource person, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasai, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. Then Professor Prasai will deliver his talk. And after that, we will come to the rapporteur's report. Our Vice President Junior is also present, Dr. Tofaজ্জল Haq, and obviously, and then we'll go for the grand vote of thanks. Professor Prasai, I seek apology because the day we talked about, I told you by 6:15 you must be ready, and actually you were a really busy person, I know right now. By 6:30 we're a bit late. I think you will accommodate us.
Yeah, I'm free now. I'm free now.
Okay, Dr. Nilangshu, please
Yes,
introduce Professor Prasai.
Yes, sir. We have the pleasure and honor to have with us Professor Dr. Ganga Prasad Prasai, who is the Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Agartala, and he has 31 years of experience in postgraduate classes in Manipur University, and he has been the former Dean, School of Social Science, Manipur University. Also, he was the head of postgraduate department of Manipur University for 13 years. He has produced 16 PhDs, authored 7 books, published 76 research papers, attended around 80 seminars, conferences, and presented papers, visited United States of America, Myanmar, Nepal, and Bhutan for delivering lectures in international conferences. He has received the Fellow of Indian Commerce Association in 2010 as well as in 2016. He is the live member of around 1 dozen national level academic associations of India, and he is a member of Court and Executive Council of Sikkim Central University and Rajiv Gandhi Central University, and also is a visitors nominee of Central University of Gujarat. He has also been the member of Board of Studies of Assam University, Nagaland University, and Mizoram University. He is activist in various social and cultural organizations at national level. We are very much pleased and honored to have you with us, sir. Sir, please can you take over?
Thank you, Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh, for giving my introduction. I may not deserve all those things. Thank you very much. Honorable Professor Sudipti Banerjee, my esteemed Guruji, my teacher, my mentor, who has helped me in my academic development, who is also former Professor of Commerce, University of Kolkata, and Chairman of this technical session. Professor Jaideep Sarkel, President, Indian Accounting Association, South Bengal Branch of Commerce, University of Burdwan, West Bengal. Professor Tarapad Ghosh, Professor of Finance, Institute of Management Technology, Dubai, who has given a very, very illuminating and very interesting and informative lecture. I have also learned many things from your lecture, sir. Professor Tarapada Ghosh, kindly accept my hearty greetings from Tripura. Dr. Mohammad Tofaজ্জল Haq, Principal, Umesh Chandra College, Kolkata, West Bengal. Dr. Kajabran Jena, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Tamlipat Mahavidyalaya, Tamluk, West Bengal. Dr. Swarnabha Das, Assistant Professor, Department of MBA, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Kolkata, West Bengal. All the distinguished resource persons, professors, faculty members of different organizations who have been associated with this webinar, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I like to convey my heartfelt greetings and gratitude and honor to Professor Sudipti Banerjee and other members of the organizing team of this webinar for inviting me as a chief guest in the valedictory function. I have seen the program, many important resource persons, professors, vice chancellor have delivered lecture on different topics since yesterday. I missed the program yesterday. Today also I am able to participate in this validity session only. Many eminent scholars of accounting and finance from different parts of India have delivered lecture on different areas, which are very important areas. Now coming to the theme of the webinar, that is economic and business challenges in India, pandemic and after. Yes, we never thought that such a very devastating pandemic will happen in India and globe. Entire globe and India has been suffering a lot because of this pandemic. In the month of April, May and June, we have seen the horrible situation in this country, India. Many migrant laborers were working in different cities, different places, different industrial houses, but due to the sudden lockdown and closure of those industries, they have to come back to their respective villages. And since the topic is related to pandemic and after, I would like to highlight few things that how we can recover from this economic slowdown, economic losses, loss of employment, and loss of GDP. We all know that India is a country where nearly 65 to 70% of our total population live in villages. Our economy is based on village economy. We all remember that during the independence movement, late Mahatma Gandhi ji, father of India, advocated that if we want to develop India, we must develop rural India. Then only we can see the development in this country, India. We have seen after independence, after 1947, after 50, there was an economic development, industrial development, but the development which has taken place after independence is uneven, unequal development. Say, some cities, some metropolitan cities like Mumbai, like Chennai, like Delhi, even Kolkata, Pune, Bengaluru are highly developed. But rural area where nearly 65 to 70% of our people are living, that is still remain backward and backward. We have seen that those migrant labor who were working in different cities, different industrial houses have to come back because they did not get, they were unemployed in their villages where they belong to. So these laborers have to leave their village in search of job, in search of employment opportunities in those big cities. But because of lockdown, they came back and now they are unemployed. Now my question is, if we could have developed rural India, village India, then those laborers who have left but again returned, there is reverse migration and they are now in their villages, would have got job there itself. Therefore, I feel that after this pandemic is over, when we'll start our recovery rate, our recovery measure, then we must think of developing rural India. We would like to request our industrialists, our capitalists, our entrepreneurs to invest in rural India also. Whatever income we have earned, because our industrialists, our entrepreneurs, they invest their income. So now, if we shift our investment, if we shift our capital to rural side, to rural India, to villages, then we will have economic development of India. Then only we can think of balanced regional development. As of now, we have seen that only urban areas, metropolitan cities, capital cities are highly developed. People have migrated to these cities because they did not get amenities, facilities in rural India, in their villages. If we develop our villages, if we start big industries in our villages, then definitely there will be reverse migration. Say, for example, if we want to start one 5-star hotel, then as of now, those capitalists, industrialists are constructing 5-star hotel in metropolitan city only. If we construct one, say, hotel in rural area, then certainly it will help in developing that area also. So people will go to hotel, they will stay in hotel. To connect that hotel, we have to construct road, we have to provide other physical facilities, amenities, power, water supply. Then many people, laborers, who are living in that area will be employed, and ultimately we'll be getting, we'll developing tourism industry. As all of us know that the most affected sector due to this COVID-19 pandemic is tourism industry. All hotels were closed, taxi driver were unemployed, tour operator were unemployed, flights did not operate, tourists did not come. So there was a great loss of employment and also income through the hotel industry. So my simple suggestion is that if we start a hotel in rural area, then it will boost tourism in rural areas also. We are talking about rural tourism, eco-tourism, pilgrimage tourism. So for this, we need to go back to the villages for development, then only our economy will develop. We are talking about MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. So all the raw materials which are being used in this MSME are also produced in rural India. I know that in Kolkata and nearby Kolkata, in greater Kolkata, there are many jute mills, textile mills. But the materials, the raw materials which are being used in these jute mills and textile mills are grown and supplied from, say, rural area of West Bengal. So if we think of starting an industry in that area where we grow our raw material, our jute, then that area will be developed. Kolkata will not develop. There will be less population, less pressure in Kolkata because people will remain in that area where these industries are set up, where these raw materials are available. In other places also, for example, in Manipur, we have a lot of, say, pineapples, orange, lemon, etc. So, but those industries are located in capital Imphal only. But if we start even this micro and small industry also in those areas, rural areas where these raw material are grown, then that area will be developed. So we have to, after this pandemic, if we want to develop our country, if we want to bring equal development more or less in all over India, then we must think to develop rural area. Therefore, we have to shift our capital, our investment to rural India, then only we can overcome this situation. Therefore, later on, we like to suggest our investor, policy planners, government, and all those who are interested and who have been talking, who have been organizing such a webinar and whom we are discussing many things. We must think for development of rural India. Then only we can think of developing our country after this COVID pandemic. But this is also a great challenge in front of all of us, in front of government, in front of policy planners, decision makers, because we need to have concrete policy. Then only we can go about the development of this area. And another very, very important thing which we have witnessed in Northeast India is that one of the reasons for social unrest is unemployment, mainly in rural area, in hill area. Therefore, we have seen a lot of disturbance in the past. So we need to rethink the development of really backward area. We have to find out which areas are the really backward area. So we should give attention for the development of those areas. Then only in course of time, we will overcome this unequal development, this uneven development. It may take some time, but ultimately it will help our country in recovering from this pandemic, and ultimately it will also help in getting job to those migrant workers, Pravasi Mazdoor, who have returned from the places of work where they were working, and ultimately India will grow, country will grow, and we can come to at the national level. Many speakers have spoken many ideas before me also, so I would like to repeat all those things. I am highly obliged and I am highly honored for inviting me. It's a very important webinar where many scholars have spoken on various topics, and we are highly enlightened from this deliberation. Last but not the least, once again, I'd like to convey my heartfelt greetings and gratefulness to the organizer of this webinar on the theme Economic and Business Challenge in India, Pandemic and After, for giving me this chance to be a chief guest in this evaluatory function. I wish that I could personally meet you in Kolkata, but because of this pandemic, we are unable to meet. Through this online only, we are meeting. And last but not least, I'm also conveying my greetings to all of you. Thank you, and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Professor Prasai. In fact, in a very simple manner, because certain serious issues have been touched upon by Professor Tarapada Ghosh, and you have focused on another very important area from the long-term development point of view, the rural India, obviously keeping the immediate context in mind. Thank you very much once again, simply because I seek apology before all the participants, in the sense, first, on behalf of the organizers, I requested you to join the inaugural session, and you were kind enough to give consent. Then in the last minute, there was a time constraint because you had to meet the Chief Minister on that particular day. So after consulting our friends in the organizing committee meeting, I again requested you to join the valedictory session. And so nice of you that from 6:15 onwards, I request you to keep yourself free, but you could join today right from the beginning. And it is almost 7 o'clock. You are very much with us. We remain grateful to you. And hopefully we will be in touch with you in future also, yes, in the academic and extra-academic programs. Yes. Thank you, Professor Prasai, very much. My good friend for such a long time. Yes. And now, Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh, now we request our reporters to make their presentations. Then we will invite our internal organizing committee member, Dr. Mohammad Tofazzal Haq, he is the Vice President Junior, and then we'll go for the grand vote of thanks. So the reporters, please start making your presentation in a session-wise manner. First will come, I think, Mr. Prashanjit Roy.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think I am audible. Thank you, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
So respected Professor Sudipti Banerjee, sir, Professor Joydev Sarkar, sir, Professor Arindam Gupta, sir, Dr. Swarnabha Das, Professor T.P. Ghosh, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasen, Honorable VC Tripura University, Dr. Kajal Baranjana, Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh, members belonging to the organizing committee, members of IIA South Bengal branch, dignitaries of Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, other dignitaries and participants. Good evening, all of you. Given the assigned responsibility, I hereby now enumerate the detail pertaining to the technical session one held on day one of this webinar, having the theme socio-economic and supply chain challenges in India, pandemic and after. The session host, Professor Pradeep Kumar Samanta, after welcoming all, invited Professor Sanjay J. Vayani, Dean, Professor and Head, Department of Business Management, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, Gujarat, and General Secretary, Indian Accounting Association, to take up
Please unmute. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Please unmute.
Oh, did I got muted, Professor Das?
Yeah. Now, continue. Please continue.
Yes, carry on, Prashanjit.
Okay. Professor Devashish Sood referred to implementing the measures suggested by the economists like Avijit Bandyopadhyay, Raghuram Rajan, and other economists so as to boost the economy in the current pandemic situation. However, he also acknowledged that whatever stands proclaimed by the economist does not ensure certainty towards gearing up the economy. After the conclusion of the speech of Professor Sood, paper presenters were invited for presentation. In totality, 12 papers were selected for presentation. However, 11 out of them turned up for the presentation. I now would like to lay down as regards the papers presented in the said session. Dr. Arup Kumar Sarkar, he talked about an inquiry into the effect of COVID-19 on the Indian economy. Mr. Priyajit Roy and Mr. Avijit Kandrar jointly submitted a paper, and out of them, Mr. Avijit Kandrar, he actually deliberated upon the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on higher education with special reference to students of Kolkata. Dr. K. Lalita, he actually focused on vocal for local challenges ahead before India's supply chain pandemic situation. Mrs. Koel Mukherjee, he elaborated how that self-help groups have been blessing in disguise before and after pandemic. Mrs. Mohua Roy, she accentuated upon the effect of the pandemic on the child worker population, a socio-economic analysis. Mrs. Neha Ghosh, she talked about COVID-19, a jolt to the employment potentiality of India. Dr. Mahashweta Roy Datta, she elaborated on a macro level approach towards developmental strategies to ameliorate the Indian business in post-COVID era. Mr. Amit Nath highlighted about the pandemic effects on psychological health of society. Mr. P. Bala Murlidhar, he focused on the role of Indian Railways in supply chain during COVID-19 pandemic. A paper jointly submitted by Mr. Rohan Prasad and Dr. Bapaditya Biswas, and out of them, Mr. Rohan Prasad, he actually highlighted about the vocal for local challenges and opportunities for India in the global supply chain. Another paper was jointly submitted by Mr. Sankar Das and Dr. Bapaditya Biswas, and Mr. Sankar Das presented and dwelt upon the issues relating to study with reference to the food processing industries in India, again vocal for local. After the conclusion of the paper presentation, Professor Vayani conferred his observations and concluding remarks on the papers presented. The session ended with a vote of thanks from Professor Vipradas Bhattacharya, Senior Professor, Department of MBA, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science. With these few words, I conclude my report. Thank you very much. It's over to you, Sudipti sir, again.
Thank you, Mr. Prashanjit Roy, for nicely and briefly presenting the entire session before all of us, as some of us could not attend for all the sessions. So now I request Dr. Kushal De to make presentation regarding the session, technical session 2.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. I take the proud privilege to present my reporter's report for technical session 2, which was held today in the morning from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. The session was very
possible for you to make yourself visible.
Can you just switch on your video?
So there is some network issues. I'll just go on like this.
Okay, okay.
So the session was very ably hosted by Professor Pradipta Banerjee, who is the head Department of Commerce of Sidhu Kanu Biswa University, Purulia, and the session was chaired by Professor Ranjan Kumar Ball, former Professor of Commerce, Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. In the inaugural address, Professor Ball discussed about the problems that we face due to the pandemic, particularly about the retail inflation. The unorganized sector is the worst hit. The positives discussed by Professor Ball were job creation by internet operators, and he gave an example of Flipkart. Railway freight traffic, according to him, is rising, and bumper crop is also expected. He also talked for vocal for local, and for which he elaborated on strong political will and leadership. We had a very able keynote speaker, Dr. Somosri Mukhopadhyay, researcher and academician, Canada, and former academic consultant, University of Victoria. In her presentation, Dr. Mukhopadhyay discussed about the implications of the pandemic on the unorganized sector. She said that the Indian economy has 60% unorganized, and the unorganized sector is the most vulnerable sector in India due to its size. 23.9% shrinkage has happened due to lockdown, and 20% shrinkage in global demands was reported. The government expenditure has increased. Now, she discussed her personal experiences in Canada, where she found the shelves empty in March when the pandemic set in. She also compared the situation of the pandemic to the World War days. She said that India could be a dominant player in food production sector in the near future. She also discussed about the dairy sector, food processing sector, and other sectors where India can take a lead. India has the capacity, according to her, to become the regional leader. And she said that textiles, leather, and food processing are the strengths of India. She said that India should adopt Gandhiji's vision, which he had for rural India. Next came the paper presenters. There were 11 papers shortlisted for this session, out of which 9 paper presenters turned up. 3 papers were related to MSME sector, 2 were based on empirical researches, 1 was based on transportation, and the other was based on agriculture, and 2 papers discussed the problems faced by the unorganized sector in India. Nilanjan Roy and Tamal Chatterjee discussed about the strategies for business, for the upliftment and growth. The problems of small and medium scale industries and their revival strategies were discussed by them in details. Sumita Chakraborty and Dr. Sally De Pandit discussed about the MSME and COVID issues, challenges, where they discussed about the economic and business challenges due to pandemic. Vivekananda Mridha discussed about COVID-19 and its impact on the unorganized sector, where he took 200 household data, which comprised of 66 migrant laborers and the rest non-migrant laborers. The pandemic has disturbed their livelihood, and the migrant laborers, according to him, is most worst hit. Muhammad Ishaq Ahmed discussed on the implications of COVID-19 on the MSME sector. Ashit Kumar Seet discussed about the migrant workers in India and the patterns of migration. He also discussed about the challenges faced by these workers and the initiative taken by the state and central government to rehabilitate them. Devopriya Shah discussed about the problems in the Indian agricultural sector due to COVID. She also discussed on the impact, especially on the mango, potato, and other fruits. She also said that the Rabi crop farming has taken a big hit due to pandemic. My friend Santosh Kumar Das and Bapaditya Biskas in their paper discussed about the impact of pandemic on the transportation sector. According to them, the pandemic has made people prefer private vehicles to public vehicles, for which the transportation sector is really taking a hit, and the number of passengers have decreased a lot. Dr. Nirmal Chandra Roy and Orpita Day discussed about the migrant workers in Jalpaiguri district from a sample of 377 workers, and they discussed that the major reasons for which people migrate are income, dowry, medical treatment, etc. The last paper presented by Amit Nag discussed about the economic and business challenges on the educational sector due to pandemic. Students from affluent families, according to him, are better equipped to shift to the new model of learning, and students from less affluent families would rather take a hit. The session was concluded by a vote of thanks from Dr. Sohag Joaddar of Khidirpur College. Thank you, sir. With this, I come to the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Kushal De, for your trite and brief rapporteur's report for the technical session 2, focusing more on the unorganized sector. Now, coming to technical session 3, Dr. Debobrata Jana, you start to make your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to everyone. On behalf of South Bengal branch, Sami Management and Computer Science, Sonarpur, Kolkata, report today. I take this opportunity. First, thanks to all organizing committee members to today's internal webinar, economic and business challenges in India, pandemic and art. Now, that is about thanks to the technical to Chairperson Professor Department of Business and Economics, JNB University, Rajasthan. Nicely presented the global scenario about different sector covering all the scenario of different sectoring covering all the areas. Our presentation, what problems faced by the people's world in the pandemic situation. This session, the keynote speaker, Professor Ramlal Choudhury, Department of Commerce, City of Calcutta, the central idea about different industry areas like manufacturing, textile, and automobile, etc. It clearly describes how industry growth rate reduced and how to improve the in the banking sector through merging activity. Migrant workers from actually clearly scared. In this session, there are 7 papers selected for present, of which all the papers presented in the different areas. In this paper, first paper the presented Dr. Sikdar of volatility during pre and COVID-19 panic, a case study with reference to Nifty. It clearly presented how stock market intraday volatility pre and post is panic by using different statistical tools. Second, there are another four papers related to the pharmaceutical industry and 3 papers in manufacturing related. The second paper is the Dr. Anukarwar first on the study on the impact COVID-19 on manufacturing sectors and policy recommendation. There in the manufacturing industry, another one is the Sripriya and Dr. Pindiranjan Bhattacharya talks about the understanding of marketing models with reference to an electronic manufacturing unit in the context of COVID-19 in Jharkhand. Another part is Dr. Suprai focused the impact of corona pandemic on manufacturing the possible public system. Then the pharmaceutical industry, Joyashree and Srishti focused the impact of lockdown COVID-19 in pharmaceutical company. The Sonpasag and Sandy that into the profitability of Indian banking industry and another author, the Shatabdi introduced the insolvency and bankruptcy ordinance 2020 in overview regarding beneficiary and inconsidered guests. Last paper Sapan Indian tourism hospitality sector amidst COVID-19 and pandemic challenges and the forward. The technical session hosted by the Professor Arindam Das, Professor of Commerce, University of Warwick. Then, last another time, most thanks to all the participants in the today webinar. I request to session host to conclude.
Thank you, Devabrata. Thank you, Dr. Devabrata Jana, for your reporter's report regarding the third technical session. So we have covered all the technical sessions. We have come to know, those who could not attend all through, the number of papers presented and the nature of papers, at least from the titles. The third session was focused on the organized sector. Now, I would request our Vice President Junior, Indian Accounting Association South Bengal branch, the Principal Umesh Chandra College, Dr. Mohammad Tofajjal Haq, to say a few words.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you, Tofajjal.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Hello?
You are audible.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, very much audible.
Yes, Tofajjal, we can hear you. You start.
Hello?
I think Professor Banerjee, he has network problem, so let us go to
You are unmute.
No,
not unmute.
Can't hear.
Okay.
Hello? So can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
ভিডিওটা আনমিউট করেনি তো এবার
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Please start.
Professor Banerjee, we are already late.
Yes, after Tofajjal, we will be going for vote of thanks.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Tofajjal, please start.
Sir, there is an internet problem here. Hello?
Start.
Sir, please proceed to the next person.
Okay, because Dr. Mohammad Tofajjal Haq is having some technical problem. Now we come to the last part of our session. If he can join later on, he can say a few encouraging words at the end. Now I request Dr. Kajal Varan Jana, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Tamralipta Mahavidyalaya, and the convener of this particular seminar, webinar, and the IAA National Executive Member to offer the grand vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Sudipta Banerjee, sir, Chairman of this session. We are at the flag end of this 2 days international webinar entitled Economic and Business Challenges in India, Pandemic and After in this evening. Before we offer vote of thanks, I wish to announce I have an announcement regarding best paper presentation. From the source of the technical committees and from the keynote speakers and the chairman of each technical session, we have selected best paper for technical one session 1, where the best paper goes for technical session 1 is for Sneha Ghosh. Paper is COVID-19, a goal to the employment potentiality in India. And I wish a big hand for her, for Ms. Sneha Ghosh. For technical session 2, the best paper award goes to Mr. Nilanjan Rai and Dr. Tomal Chatterjee. Their paper strategy for business upliftment and growth in SME sector during post-pandemic COVID-19 in India. We have a big upper hand for both of you. Technical session 3, best paper goes for Dr. Anupam Karmakar, a study of the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian manufacturing sector and policy recommendations. These are the 3 best papers we are selected by technical committee, including, yes sir.
I think Dr. Hawk may speak now. He is visible. So Dr. Hawk, will you please unmute?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Hawk.
Hello? Hello?
Yes,
hear you.
Hello?
No, he has problem.
In Newton, there is a network problem.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, we feel bad.
Can you hear me, sir?
Let us continue with the rest of the proceedings. Okay. So, Dr. Hawk, with your permission, let Dr. Kajal Baral Janak continue with the grand vote of thanks.
Sir, I continue with the grand vote of thanks. Actually, I would like to offer grand vote of thanks before I would like to say something about this webinar. We have designed this particular webinar to address the challenges before economy and businesses in India, segregating into 3 different angles: socio-economic and supply chain challenges, challenges before unorganized sector, and challenges before organized sector. We have tried focusing all these areas to address. Respected resource persons in different technical sessions and inaugural and valedictory session has rightly pointed out challenges and threats we are facing right now, and also pointed out some silver lines which are very much necessary to address in this particular situation. Moreover, the young researchers who have contributed their papers in the webinar are attempting to address these situations by their research findings and suggestions. We have emphasized much in this webinar as far as to the young researcher viewpoint to all of us. Now, I would like to offer gratitude and thanks to the chair of this session, particular session, Professor Sudipta Banerjee, sir, former professor of University of Calcutta, editor of IA national body, who happens to be the chairman of this webinar organizing committee, for nicely coordinated this particular session, but nicely for a particular session and guided all the matters to organize the particular webinar in fruitful manner. Thank you, sir, once again for able guidance and leadership and management. We would like to offer my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Jaydev Sarkar sir to offer presidential address on behalf of IAS South Bengal branch and guide us all through our journey with the webinar and our academic activities throughout the year. I would like to express my thankfulness to Dr. Mohammad Tafadjal Haq, Principal, Umesh Chandra College, Kolkata, and Vice President of IAS South Bengal branch to address the session, though he could not able to address, but we must thank him to come over here and make this webinar fruitful meaning to the destination. I must thank to Dr. Swarnabha Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Kolkata and West Bengal, and member of IAS South Bengal branch to speak about IAS South Bengal branch. I would like to offer my sincere thankfulness and heartfelt gratitude to Professor Tarapada Ghosh, Professor of Finance, Institute of Management Technology, Dubai, UAE, to attend this webinar by his gracious and scholastic presence as to deliver keynote address in this valedictory session and enlightening us, although the aspects of this webinar in fruitful manner. I once again convey my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, with a expectation to have you once again in our lively academic journey in future. I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Ganga Prasad Prasai, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, Agartala, to deliver valedictory address despite his busy and tight schedule to join with us and give such fruitful notes in this webinar. Thank you, sir, for joining with us and enrich us. And now I wish to convey my heartfelt thanks to rapporteurs of first technical session, Mr. Prasenjit Rai, Senior Manager, F&A, West Bengal Electricity Board Development Company Limited, Kolkata, West Bengal. Very good friend of all of us to make the report of session, first technical session in this valedictory session. Thank you, sir. I must say thanks to rapporteur Dr. Kushal De, Assistant Professor, Dhruvochar Haldar College, Chobbish Pargana South, West Bengal, to report about session in the valedictory session. Thank you, sir. I would like to convey my thanks to third rapporteur of third technical session, Dr. Debabrata Jana, Assistant Professor, Bankura Sammeliani College, Bankura, West Bengal, for nicely enumerate this session in this valedictory session. I would like to offer thanks to you all, you sir. Now I come back to very beginning of our journey. We shall start from very beginning of our virtual journey in the inaugural session on yesterday, that is 15/9/20 at 2 o'clock. I would like to offer my sincere and profound gratitude to Professor Jaydev Sarkar, former Professor of the University of Barwan and President of Indian Accounting Association South Bengal branch, and our academic mentor to chair this session and make the journey gracious. I would like to say high sense of regard and thankfulness to Professor Arindam Gupta, Professor of Commerce, Vidyasagar University, who has co-chaired this inaugural session. And without him, this webinar could not be launched. His constant support in coordination, all the resource persons, and all formalities in well-organized manner from beginning to end in every aspect. You are the torch bearer of our association and main source of inspiration of these all activities. So giving vote of thanks to you is beyond my capacity. Still, as usual, I convey that. I would like to convey my sincere gratitude and regard to Professor Sudipta Banerjee sir, former professor of the University of Calcutta and editor IA, who happens to be chairman of this webinar organizing committee, to offer formal welcome address to the virtual gathering with scholastic style. I convey my best regards to you, sir. I am feeling proud to convey my best regard to Professor G. Soral, Professor and Head, Department of Accountancy and Statistics, Mohanlal Sukadia, University, Udaipur, Rajasthan, and Honorable President IAA, who had inaugurated this webinar. He is the constant inspiration to the academic journey of us. Whenever we ask for attending our event, he never said no. His relentless enthusiastic presence makes us always happy and grateful. I must convey regards to you, sir, also. It is my great honor to say thanks to Professor Karamjit Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, JND Punjab State Open University, Patiala, Punjab, and former President, Indian Accounting Association, to address as chief guest and joining with us despite your busy and tight schedule. His inspirational talk makes hopeful to overcome the painful situation. I convey my thanks to you, sir. I must say my sincere thankfulness to Dr. Nandan Gupta, Director, Swami Vivekananda Group of Institute, West Bengal, to address in this inaugural session. We hope this is our beginning as collaborating partner with Swami Vivekananda Group of Institute. He and his team are always helped us in every aspect throughout the journey. I must say thanks to you, sir, once again. My sincere respect to Professor Hrishikesh Padia, former Associate Professor, Egra SSB College, Purbo Mednipur, West Bengal, and Vice President, Senior IAS South Bengal branch, to address in the inaugural session. He was former secretary of this branch, and his supportive role in flourishing this branch is always remains our mind. I say thank you once again, sir. I must say thank to Dr. Nilangshu Ghosh, Principal, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Sonarpur, Kolkata, West Bengal, and convener of this webinar, to offer vote of thanks in this session. His constant support and help makes us happy to launch this webinar in purposeful manner. I, on behalf of my personal point of view and organizational point of view, convey our sincere thanks to you, sir, also. In the first technical session, which we held on yesterday, I must say best regard to Professor Sanjay J. Bahani, Dean, Professor and Head, Department of Business Management, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, Gujarat, and General Secretary IAA, to chair this session and enrich the session by his academic input. I must say thank you once again, sir. My best regard always go with the Professor Devashish Sood, Professor, Department of Commerce, University of Barwan, West Bengal, to address keynote on economic and business challenges, on socio-economic and supply chain challenges in India, pandemic, and after. His scholastic presentation gave us deep insight to this theme. I must say gratitude and thankfulness to you, sir. I convey sincere thanks to Professor Viprodas Bhattacharya, Senior Professor, Department of MBA, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Kolkata, West Bengal, to offer vote of thanks in this session. Thank you, sir, for soulful presentation. I convey my sincere and warm regard and thankfulness to Professor Pradeep Kumar Samanta, Professor, Department of Commerce, University of Kalyani, Noida, West Bengal, and IA National EC member, to act as session host in this session and organize the whole session in skillful manner. Thank you, sir. In the second technical session, my sincere regard and heartfelt gratitude goes to Professor Ranjan Kumar Bal, former Professor of Commerce, Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and former President IA, to act chairperson in this session. His gentlemanship and his attitude of teachers of teachers are overwhelming all of us. His presence makes us always delightful. I must say thank you, sir, and best regard to you, sir. My profound and humble thanks to the keynote speaker of this session, Dr. Somasri Mukhopadhyay, researcher and academician, Canada, and former academic consultant, University of Victoria, Canada, to join with us despite constraints in time schedule between India and Canada. It was almost midnight there. Our gracious presence inspired us and takes our journey to a level high. We must say thank you, Madam, to join with us and exchange your views with all of us. I must convey my sincere thanks to Dr. Sohag Joadar, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce, Khidirpur College, Kolkata, West Bengal, and Joint Secretary, IA South Bengal Branch, to offer vote of thanks in this session. But I must say thankfulness to session host Professor Pradipta Banerjee, Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, SKB University, Purulia, West Bengal, and Chief Editor, Business Spectrum, IA South Bengal, e-Journal, for nicely coordinating this session and handling the session aptly. Thank you, sir. In this hard technical session, I must say my sincere gratitude to the chairperson of this session, Professor Krishna Avatar Goyal, Professor, Department of Business, Finance and Economics, JNV University, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, to join with us and make his valuable representation in this session in fruitful manner. We must say thank you, sir. My sincere regards to keynote speaker, Professor Ram Prahlad Choudhury, Professor, Department of Commerce, University of Kolkata, Calcutta, Kolkata, West Bengal, to deliver his note about the theme such a lucid manner. I must say thank you, sir. My sincere thanks also goes to Mr. Amitabh Gupta, Assistant Professor, Department of MBA, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Kolkata, West Bengal, to offer vote of thanks in this session. My sincere and grateful thanks to session host of this session, Professor Arindam Das, Professor of Commerce, University of Burdwan, West Bengal, and Secretary of IA South Bengal, for nicely coordinating and organizing the session in fruitful manner. My heartfelt thanks to the rapporteur of the session. That was also already mentioned. I must say our sincere thanks to the paper contributors and participants, without whom these webinars would not be meaningless. Thank you all for participating and make our event fruitful and successful. Thanks to Mrs. Kakoli Gupta Madam to remain with us all through, and other members from Swami Vivekananda Group of Institute for supporting technically and other way to have this event successful. I must say one again the name of Dr. Swarnabha Das, who has played crucial role in this collaboration. Thank you, Swami Vivekananda Group of Institute and SIGMCS, for your support. My sincere regards to all the EC member of IA National Body and other branches, and EC member of IA South Bengal branch and other members who have joined with this webinar, and without whom this journey could not be stepped out. Thank you all, sir. Thank you. I conclude my vote of thanks. And my announcement to the paper presenter is that your paper presentation certificate will be delivered to your session host through WhatsApp group. The certification link will be given in the particular WhatsApp group, and you will fill the group and you will have the certificate.
Okay, Sudipti sir.
Yes.
I just want to say everybody has been thanked.
You are the session host. Yes.
Only Dr. Kajal Bodojana is left to be thanked. So
yes. I was coming to that.
Yes.
So now our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Kajal Bodojana, the joint convener, and Dr. Nilanshu Ghosh, the joint convener of this program, and Dr. Nilanshu Ghosh was a session host here also. And also I mentioned Professor Sanjay Vayani again, that today he could join this session, and on our request, he could say some encouraging words for us. Thank you, Professor Vayani, and thank you, Professor T.P. Ghosh and Professor Ganga Prasad very much for joining us. It it's a bit late, but thank you for bearing with us. So, Professor Dr. Nilanshu Ghosh,
Yes,
can we now wind up? Can we now call it a session?
I'll just last
have an announcement, sir. I have an announcement. Those
Yes,
who
you make it.
are not able to have participation certificate, please contact with me. I will arrange it.
Okay.
If you are not able to have any participation certificate, then you contact with me.
And with that, we come to the conclusion of this two-day international webinar on economic and business challenges in India, pandemic and after, organized by Indian Accounting Association in South Bengal branch in collaboration with Swami Vivekananda Institute of Management and Computer Science, Sonarpur. So thank you all, and good afternoon, good evening. Thank you, sir. Sir Sudipta Banerjee, you can declare the end of the session.
So thank you all, those who are still present and bearing with us. And now we call it a session. In future, whenever we will be having any program, we will inform all of you. Okay. Stay well.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, Nilanshu Babu.
Hello, end meeting. Madam, end meeting, please.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Pranab
Good night.
Babu, Madam, Namaskar. Madam,
Namaskar,
Namaskar.
sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam, we take leave now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You end meeting, madam.
Okay.
Thank you.